Hey guys, in today's episode, I am joined by Neil Chan, a videographer in the EDM industry who's worked with artists like Blanke and Gryffin. Neil shares with us how he broke into the scene, what it's like working with top EDM artists, and why he doesn't think you need a degree for this type of work. We also discuss some of his favorite projects he's worked on, like his new music video for Gryffin's song, Cry. So with all that being said, let's get into it. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Rave Culture Cast, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more. I am your host, Emma Kapotes. Welcome to the podcast, you guys. Happy Wednesday. I hope you all are having a great week so far and staying healthy and feeling good. I'm so excited to share today's episode with you. I swear, every single interview I do recently, as soon as I'm done and I hang up with them, I'm like, wow, I can't wait to tell you guys about this because you guys are gonna freak out, and today is absolutely no different. So, as I mentioned in the intro, I have Neil Chan on today, who is a videographer in the EDM scene. And again, this is a topic that I have not covered yet on the podcast, and I want to continue to bring you people who have diverse backgrounds, different types of jobs, careers, like everything that could be covered. And I know some people have asked in the past for me to talk to either photographers or videographers in the scene. So Neil is going to be shedding some light on what it's like to work with top EDM artists, and also just what it's like to break into the scene. Like, how do you even get started? Do you need a degree for this? Like, what goes into this type of job? And obviously, given the current state of the world, what is he currently working on now, and what is life like for a freelancing videographer? And of course, one of the biggest selling points of this, which is absolutely amazing, Neil has done so incredibly well for himself so far. He is currently working with Gryffin, who is one of my favorite artists of all time. Absolutely love him. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how Gryffin essentially was the reason that Neil and I connected. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for checking out today's episode. If you enjoy it, please make this your Instagram stories today and tag at raveculturecast and at Emma Kapotes in your post. And don't forget to join the Facebook group. We have an incredible community, and we ended up having our second family Zoom call last night. Such a good time, and I want to continue to do those in the future. So if you guys are a part of the Facebook group, you will know when those are happening, and you will get to vote on future dates. And it's just such an incredible community. I'm really excited to connect with you guys through that. So very excited about that. I'm gonna jump right into our listener of the week. For those of you who don't know, every week I shout out a listener. You guys can send in submissions and nominations. I'm running very, very low. So please email your submissions to raveculturecast@gmail.com. This one comes from my girl Ryan. She says, "Hey Emma, I wanted to nominate a listener who I was fortunate enough to have met virtually through your YouTube live streams. I was watching the live chat and I saw Laura Gilb mention that she was a fellow Cincinnatian. I reached out to her via Facebook, and we have been in touch ever since. Because of COVID circumstances, Laura and I still haven't had an opportunity to meet in person, but that hasn't affected our friendship at all. Laura is the perfect example of what it means to be a member of the Rave community. She's always reaching out and checking in to send some positivity my way, or ask how my week is going, or ask me about the latest virtual festivals and more. It always makes my day to hear from her. I always appreciate how active and participatory she is in the RCC Facebook group." Yes, snaps to that, 100%. "I'm so grateful to have her as a part of this community and lucky to have her as a friend. I can't wait for the day we can finally meet and rave in person together. Thank you for being such an incredible friend and human, Laura." And that is from Ryan Beckham. Huge shout out to Laura. I gotta say, Laura's amazing. I've known her for a while, and she really is an incredible part of this community. She was rocking her Rave Culture Cast merch this past weekend, which was awesome. So Laura, this is way overdue. You are our listener of the week. Thank you so much for being a part of the Rave Culture Cast family. All right, real quick, you guys, I'm still collecting submissions for an upcoming episode all about plur. What is plur, Emma? Plur is peace, love, unity, and respect. It is a mantra that is very big in the EDM community. It's a huge part of rave culture, and I wanted to do a full episode on it. But I really want to get into the nitty-gritty details of what plur actually means. Like, what does that really mean to you? Do you know what I'm saying? How has it impacted your life? What examples do you have of plur moments or interactions that have happened, you know, maybe at an event or a festival? So please send me all of your stories and let me know what plur really means to you. Again, you can email me raveculturecast@gmail.com and I will be reading those in an upcoming episode. All right, you guys, I want to jump right into the interview. Again, Neil and I connected through Gryffin's music video, Cry. He actually reached out to me via Instagram and wanted to use some footage from some of my vlogs, which I was like completely shooketh when he DM'd me. I like could not believe it. And I was like, yes, absolutely, feel free to use whatever footage you guys want. And Gryffin's video came out. One, not only is the song just like so emotional and touching and amazing, the second thing, which we'll talk about today, is they went for a very nostalgic feel and they're like celebrating the festival community, and they use like all this footage of people at festivals, and then, you know, to see some of my clips in the video, like I started crying. It was amazing. So that's how Neil and I connected. I wanted to know more about him personally and his job and like all about the world of videography. So I hope you guys are really, really excited. You can go ahead and connect with him on Instagram at @NCSuds, S-U-D-S, at @NCSuds. If you want to shout him out and say hello, go send a heart on his latest post and tell him Rave Culture Cast sent you. With all that being said, please join me in welcoming Neil to the podcast. Hello.
How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm actually so excited we could connect again. I definitely want to talk a little bit later about like everything you have going on and the music video that you were working on. But to get things started, I would love it if you could just give a little introduction to yourself, where you're from, what you do, where you went to school, and yeah, anything else you want to throw in about yourself.
Sure. So I'm Neil. I'm 24. I'm living in Vegas right now. Well, I've been doing video for the past, I would say like almost 10 years, coming up on 10 years. Yeah, I started out in high school. I grew up in Hawaii. So I recently just moved here. So this is all still like kind of new to me. Just being in the mainland, that kind of, that kind of environment. But yeah, like grew up in Hawaii, went to school, like around Eva Beach. That's like where I grew up. Literally been, into video since I was about 5.
Wow.
So that's where it kind of all started. Like it all started because like my brother was super into Star Wars, and we saw it in like a store one day, and then we like saw the movie, and then like I would go back home, and then like we try to like film scenes and stuff like that.
Right. That's awesome.
So yeah, that's where all that started. Yeah. I never really like told that story to a lot of people, so it's crazy.
Cool.
Like,
well, it's all gonna come out today, so.
I know, right? Yeah. It's all coming out today. But yeah, like that's where a lot of it started, because like my family's really like my dad was super creative. I feel like that's what started all of that. Well, my dad was like a civil engineer, and then like he would do a lot of drawings, like because then before like they would have to draw out all the plans by hand and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just take up after him, and then going through school, I actually thought I was gonna be like an architect. And then I thought I was gonna do like graphic design.
Okay.
But around like sophomore year in high school, I accidentally got put into like an animation class.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like they ended up having us do like little short films for that class. It would go from like short films to like PSAs and stuff like that. And then my whole thing was just like I knew what high school videos look like. You know, like when it's like when they're filmed on like VHS, like the tapes, and it's like it's all like cheesy and bad acting, It just looks like DIY put together.
Right.
So I would just be thinking to myself like, what would make like what do like films do? Like why does that like look the way it does, and then like the high school one does look the way it does?
Right.
And that's where all that came around. And like I made like a PSA, and then like my teacher, if I could like shout out to Remit School and Wooten, those are my two teachers that really pushed me. And like just like a quick tangent real quick, like teachers, you like don't know how much you like influence your students. Like that's crazy, like how like a teacher can like push someone in one way and like it goes with them for like the rest of their life.
100%.
So
Yep. Totally agree with you. Wow. So you've always been super passionate about it then?
Yeah, because like honestly, like it wasn't like going back to Star Wars, like it wasn't watching the movie. Like I would watch the behind the scenes. Like it was like an hour-long documentary, and like that's the only thing I would watch back to back. Like because like it's kind of like a magic trick. It's like you see like the final product, and then they have like everything that goes under like the process, and just like finding all that stuff out. It's like knowing a secret that you're not supposed to know. You know?
Yeah, just seeing the magic of how it all works. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So did you go to school in Hawaii as well?
Yeah. So I went to school up to like high school in Hawaii, and then I think college. I ended up going to Academy of Art, and that's in San Francisco.
Nice. Okay.
I can't take too much credit for it because I like went for like a semester on site, but that really like changed like a lot. Like that was a really good time just because like you're a bunch of like around a bunch of creatives and it's like a really good community. But yeah, after that, because I knew like I wasn't like always 100% with school. In fact, like my mom would probably tell you that like I was really defensive about not going to school.
Okay.
But because like it's art, like you like people will want to see like what you did, like not really the paperwork, you know?
Like your portfolio. That's so funny you brought that up. I was actually going to ask you today because I feel like people in a creative background, I know it's like a sensitive topic right now, but I feel like a lot of people like just come out of like high school and then can just start working or start building up their portfolio, and you have like a whole generation of people just like being YouTubers or doing all of this crazy stuff. So I was going to ask your opinion on if you think school is like 100% necessary or going to college for a degree.
Yeah. I don't think it is for video just because, or photo or anything creative, because honestly, this profession is kind of similar to like a trade, like a construction job or something like that, where it's like, if you can do it, then you're hired, and you can do it well, if you can do it on time, stuff like that. But going back to San Francisco, well, I ended up moving back to Hawaii for that reason, that like I had better connects built up in Hawaii to start my career. So yeah, it's just like a better bounce board. From there, I mostly did work with clothing brands. And then those clothing brands would be linked to local music artists in the island, and then do work with them. From there, I worked at a music label for a little bit. It was like a starting music label in Hawaii. We did a couple music videos, and then sorry, it's like after all this time, like for real, like for if I could say, like quarantine has really like allowed me to reflect. It's been kind of like trippy knowing how much time has passed.
Yeah, I bet. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Were you always into music though too?
No, not like making music or anything, but like it was always around. That's the thing that like I never intended to get involved with it, but it was just something that was always there. And it definitely drives a lot of the videos that I think about, like because I feel like that sets off the mood for the project.
Right.
But yeah, from the like working at the music label, things kind of slowed down for a little bit, and then I ended up working at retail for a little bit, and then at one point, like I ended up shooting. Okay, so this is getting into like the rave stuff. So then there was a company, or there's a event in Hawaii called Wonderland.
Okay.
And they would have like raves every season. So like, and at the time, like that was like the only outdoor rave to go to. That's like the only festival to go to. So everybody gets super excited to go there. I've been going there since like my first event was like in 2014. Dada Life was playing. That was really cool. And then 2017, so 3 years later, I got the chance to shoot an event because my friend was a promoter there.
Nice. Okay.
Who was playing? I think Slushy was playing. Grand Theft, Party Peoples. I think
nice.
there's one
Okay.
more. But yeah, like I started shooting that, and then from there, from 2017 to the end of 2019, I'd be shooting festivals for them on and off, simultaneous with like doing the retail job. And
Okay.
then along with that, like I would also be working at the news because there was a person that worked at my retail job that was a cameraman editor for the local news. So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, there's like all those three things going on at once, which kind of like really pushed me to like, because it started to finally work. Like, you know, like the trying to become like a freelance person, like full time. And then like, that's the thing, like you're not the start is always like the hardest because
Right.
what you're just trying to do is build momentum from nothing. And yeah, like I finally started to see something from that. And
Nice. Okay.
that eventually I met my girlfriend at the same time around like 2017. And
Okay.
then by the end of 2018, we decided to move to Vegas, mostly just to be in the mainland and just in have like different opportunities. And she also was going to school around here,
Nice.
so
Gotcha.
yeah.
I was going to ask you what prompted the move.
Yeah. And I knew I had to leave Hawaii because like I felt like I like exhausted the resources that I like went there for.
Sure. Okay.
And then from there, we moved to Vegas, and then the last event that I went to was Elenium, Blank, Dabin, Will Black. Like they were all like in a Wonderland event.
Nice. So good.
Yeah. Honestly, that was like the best event that I've been to. That was a really good time because like a lot of my other friends that were videographers, they were shooting there too. So it was just all like a friend party. Like it was really cool.
Awesome. I mean, so some of the events, like you said, was it just because that big festival was kind of like the biggest event that you could possibly shoot for? Or like, did you have some sort of interest in EDM, or was it more like the job kind of led you into it?
No, yeah. Like I was already into EDM from 2014, like going to like raves and stuff like that. Yeah. So by the time like 2017, like that rolled around, like I've always wanted to shoot it, but I didn't know like a way in.
Right. Got it.
But yeah, thankfully that my friend Drazen, he's a promoter at a Wonderland, and he's the one that got me to meet like the guys that own it, and then like have me shoot and stuff like that.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's so cool. So tell me, because I know a lot of people like, this is definitely not a subject I've covered yet. And I just think it's super interesting. And even just looking at like your page and the stuff you put out, I have so many questions for you just about like the art that you create. But going back to like just the school conversation really quickly, because there is an element where all the programs you're using and things like that probably are just like, you know them by the back of your hand at this point. But what programs do you work in? Is that something that you learned on your own? Was it something you kind of needed a little bit of school for to learn? And then like everything else too, like videography in general, is it a lot of just like playing around with things on your own? Or did you feel like you did need a little bit of schooling for that?
All right. So for the programs, I use Premiere Pro, After Effects. Now I'm using Blender a lot more. That's like a 3D software, so that's what makes all those really cool CGI stuff. Yeah, I think those are the three. Photoshop, you can count that for graphics. Yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, like I feel like school. The thing with school, I feel like the good thing about it is that it shows you stuff that you wouldn't look up yourself. But at that same point, like you don't need to know everything. Like because I feel like everybody that is interested in doing videos or photos or graphics, they have an idea of like what they want to make, but they just don't know how to execute it. And learning that style is something that I feel like it's better if you learned it on your own. So like a lot of the stuff that I learned, it was from YouTube. I had other friends that would teach me stuff like that as well. And yeah, like I think the YouTube, especially how it is now, like it's a lot more engaging, and then there's a lot more tips and like more specific things that you could look up. Yeah, back then it would be like from like the company tutorials and stuff like that. It'd be super boring. But yeah, like I feel like now the landscape, how it is, like I don't think you need school for any of that.
Right.
And anybody would tell you that like art school, the real value of art school is the networking. So building that base can be really helpful. Yeah, I think if you were really determined enough, like I feel like that's something that would just come to you, you know? Like just making that work.
Yeah. That makes sense. So I want to hear about these, like the first few shows you did, because there's a learning curve obviously that comes with it, and just like finally doing the thing. So like, what were the first few shows like for you that you were like actually hired to be a videographer for the different festivals and events?
Oh man, so it was really cool because like you're battling like the two of like, oh damn dude, like I can go like on stage and I can meet people. Like I feel like that thing about like seeing things you're not supposed to see. I feel like I'm just naturally attracted to that. So it's just, I'm not gonna lie, like I partied like a little bit here and there, like while doing the Rave stuff. But I think the biggest hurdle like I had to get over was editing, because I feel like the editing technicalities that goes into like making something that's hype is different from making like a short film.
Right.
But yeah, like I didn't really like get down until probably like 2018. It took me like over like a year to really get that down. But yeah, like you learn eventually like what you are supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do, when you can like party, relax and stuff like that, and when you're supposed to, work,
Is it kind of like, I just imagine, I mean, obviously depending on the scale of the event, it's a little bit different, but is there like some sort of, cause I know I did a media pass once for a festival and I just had like so much imposter syndrome. One, I'm obviously not a videographer, but there's just so many people in the photo pit and so many things going on. Like I had to like take almost a couple sets to finally be like, no, I'm allowed to be here. I should be here. I'm trying to get the best content for my video as possible. Like when you're somebody who like wants to do this, like when they're first starting out, how do you kind of get over a little bit of that like intimidation, especially if you're a fan of the artist that's on stage? I can imagine that there's like a lot of pressure associated with it.
Yeah. I mean, I get that a lot too. Like it's always the first couple shots, like you're just like, damn dude, like what the hell am I doing here? Like it just feels so awkward. And then, but honestly, I feel like the thing you have to just be thinking about is that like just keep true to like what your plan is. Yeah, go in with a plan, know what you want to shoot, just be efficient with like your time and like where you're going to be at certain times. Like getting used to that definitely takes like a little bit of getting used to, but
God, I bet. But you come out with such great work. I mean, I want to talk about everything that you've been working on and stuff like that. So how did you go from doing some of these events to doing what you do now? I know obviously with COVID, we can chat about like how your job has changed and that's affected your life, but pre-COVID, what were you up to? Like, what was the freelancing life like for you?
Yeah. So, continuing off of like where I was like from that last event in Hawaii. So the timing works out insanely well. So like I worked with Blanke in Hawaii, and like that was the first artist that I exclusively shot for, because up till then I was just doing like for the festival as a whole. So I shot with Blanke, and then like it turned out he was leaving to go to LA from Australia around the same time that I was moving from Hawaii to Vegas. So from there, like we just built up this bond where like he would have his first couple shows in LA, and then I would come out to go film with him.
Awesome.
That was like the biggest, just like having been to a show in LA. That was like, I don't know how to explain. It's like going, honestly, it hit harder than like filming EDC for the first time.
Right.
Just because like, damn, you always like talk, like in Hawaii, like the mainland is just a far away fantasy place where all shit goes down and like we don't hear about it. But like Blanke got me to do like a few shows in LA, and then that got me more seen in the mainland, to the point where we were able to do EDC together, and I also did EDC with Looney Tunes as well. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, I don't know. I forgot
Is
where I
it
was
word
going
of
with that,
mouth at
but
that point usually? Like, how does it work? I'm like you said, a lot of it is networking. So at that point, is it kind of like, is it availability and word of mouth? Or to your point, do you just exclusively work with one artist and then you're not working for anybody else at that time?
actually, when I was doing the EDC thing,
Mm-hmm.
I was already in to shoot with Blank, but
Mm-hmm.
then something that I suggest to people that are coming up, just
Mm-hmm.
hit up any artist that you can, because that's what I did. Like with Blank, that I hit up his manager first, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
I like started that
Got in there.
relationship with him. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah, like so I ended up doing that for for EDC. Like the lineup came out, and then all these people, like that I would want to shoot or that I like listening to, like I would
Mm-hmm.
hit them up and then just go down the list. Um,
Nice.
Now you're not gonna get every single one because I honestly just got like Looney Tunes.
Okay.
So
But it just takes
yeah,
one. It just takes
it
one.
really does. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, you really don't know where stuff can lead you. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because I guess Blank is the reason why I got Gryffin.
Okay.
And just keep it in perspective, like I was still doing like the retail job at the time too. So it's not like
Okay.
um, for most of last year I was still like working like a 9 to 5 type of thing.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, Blank led me into Gryffin because their managers knew each other.
Mm,
And at the time they were looking for like a newer perspective for his brand.
cool.
Um,
Okay.
so on the Griffin stuff, like I was literally like working, and I was already kind of bummed because in Hawaii he was gonna play in Hawaii,
Hmm.
and it was around that time, and I was just like getting insane FOMO because like I really wanted to see him, and then I get like a DM from his manager saying that he wanted to like do some work together, and I was just like literally doing laps around the store.
That's awesome.
And yeah,
I
that's how
can't
that
even
happened.
imagine that feeling. Yeah. That's
Oh,
so did
yeah.
he hire you for a certain project or for a certain tour or anything like that?
Yeah, the first one was Lollapalooza in
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
Chicago. And then yeah, literally was shitting bricks. Because Griffin is like just so much different. Like
Mm-hmm.
how he operates is more in like a full team. Whereas like a lot of other DJs have like just like probably like 3, 4 people with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy had like the whole fucking works going on, like with the band,
Mm-hmm.
management, like press, like all those things like coming in at once. So
Jeez, he blew up. It's like unreal to see his progress. 'Cause I'm like a Griffin stan, and like from his
yeah.
SoundCloud days to what he does now, it's actually unreal to see his career. So that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm surprised like he's only been around since 2016. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
earlier than that.
Yeah.
'Cause it just
No,
feels
his
like he's
growth's
just
nuts.
been here since forever.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, yeah, it's just on your point about being intimidated by like artists.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, dude, like that was just so weird. Honestly, like I'm a baby in this industry, so like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of this stuff is like first for me.
Right.
So I'm not even gonna try to play it cool and like, yeah, dude, like it was really cool. Like we met and we vibed and it was like nothing much. Like I'm straight up like I was just like, fuck, dude, like what am I doing here?
Yeah, no, please. I appreciate that because I feel like that's exactly what people need to hear because people like want to be in that position one day and no, keep it 100% real. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Like all that was going through my head was just like, damn, dude, I can't mess this up. But
Mhm.
I feel like I'm messing it up because I'm being super awkward and I'm like not talking to anybody, and like it's just yeah, because it's just like a different world at that point.
Did you meet at the
Um,
show or were you able to meet like beforehand?
we met before. We met at like a rehearsal that they were doing.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know if that would have been better or worse. to meet at the show.
Just meeting at the show, yeah. Well, what comes out of it too? I'm curious because I know you said like coming at it with a new perspective, and you talked a little bit about the editing, but besides the shooting part, like what is the entire process like after that? What are these artists asking you to create as far as like assets after the shooting?
Yeah, are you talking about like style or just like the
Yeah,
stuff
like
that
are
they expect you
you,
to?
yeah, for like Lollapalooza, like are they asking you just to create like an after movie, or are they saying like shoot all of our content, we're going to use this for like photos, videos, for social media? Is it like a full package?
Right. Well, on face value, like yeah, it's mostly just for the like a recap.
Okay.
For Lollapalooza especially, like they're just feeling me out. So they have Juliana, who's an amazing photographer. That she's been their photographer since the beginning. So
Okay.
she's my point guard on that.
Nice.
Yeah, like it's usually just the after movie that they're going for, and then honestly, a lot of it is recycled, right? It's purposed in a different way. Like even if I like don't use it in the after movie, there's some asset that can go on later on, like the cry video that
Yep.
can use it for later on. So yeah, this is
Yeah.
more like just stacking content.
Okay, just getting as much as possible. That makes sense. Yeah, I was going to ask you because you mentioned style. So, like, how do you approach an after movie, or what do you think makes a successful recap video?
I'm honestly more about I'm a feelsy dude. I like when the emotion just hits, and I feel like that's why me and Gryffin blend so well together. Some managers will have like a mood board in their head. Like they'll give you like a list of people that they want it to look like.
Okay.
Yeah, just speaking generally, like Spencer Miller, like his name pops up a lot. Just like they just want like really engaging content. Like on their end, that's all they really
That's what they're
want.
looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, I personally, I don't know if I don't think I've really hit like a style of my own just yet. But what I think is interesting is that I feel like working with someone with like Blank for a long time, and then working with Gryffin for a long time, I feel like I've carved out like I know what that type of those types of videos should look like.
Right. Yeah, you
Yeah,
understand them and their like music and their style pretty well now.
yeah, and I feel like I've come up with like a visual style that like kind of fits that. So there's some things that I'll do specifically for Blank that I won't do for Gryffin, or yeah, vice versa.
And vice versa. Yeah.
Because also Gryffin is like compared to Blank, I don't know if you know his music, but it's like mid-tempo, kind of experimental, that kind of thing. So with that, there's just more like you can do that with video. So you can it allows you to like go more deep into like effects and just like trippy visuals in a way.
Right.
And then Gryffin allows for more storytelling and yeah, just more time to build a mood. Yeah.
Yeah, because he has the lyrical content, which just like hits you in your feels every single time.
Yeah, dude.
I can't imagine.
I just think
I
every
know.
time I'm just like
He kills it.
those lyrics, those always hit.
No, he's the best. His remixes are so good. But can you talk a little bit about Cry? Because I know that's like what linked us together. And I did an intro to you before you came on, just talking about that music video. But like, you guys totally like nailed the nostalgia that everybody is feeling right now, and just like hit. Yeah. So like, what is the whole process like for you coming up with like the ideas and then doing all the editing? Can you like walk us through that whole process of creating that video?
So originally I pitched the video to be like a James Bond opening sequence mixed with like True Detective.
Nice. Okay.
Because I kind of, yeah, like I knew it was going to be like a flashback type of video. Because I feel like, especially at this time, like especially during the summer when it was coming out, like everybody was having like insane FOMO. So yeah, that's where that came from. And then yeah, just I knew I had all this footage, and then we could do something with it. And yeah, I thought like doing it in the James Bond way would like having it be a little more abstract and yeah, just like more like a vibe to it. Like I feel like that would be a little bit different.
How many edits do you go through?
That one went through quite a bit because especially like thinking about that kind of concept, I'm not sure how it looks off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
So the visual plan and the edit isn't there yet. Like it's just the concept of like the feel of like what I want it to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And then honestly, like it keeps getting tweaked up to the end. So
It came out so good though. Guys killed it.
Yeah.
It's got over 1 million views on it. I'm pretty sure. I was just looking at it this weekend.
I'm stoked, dude. That's what's up.
I mean, it's like it's so much hard work, but it's so worth it. And just to like see where you've come and see how you've grown. Like, do you have a favorite part out of all of this? Like, do you like one thing more than the other, or like any favorite projects you've worked on as well?
Well, I think that cry was definitely like the most, I feel like most, I don't know how to say it, like committed, or like most, like I put like a lot into that project. Like it was literally like a month straight of work, because there's just so many concepts that I would just think about and then it wouldn't work, or because like me and Gryffin definitely, we really want it to hit. Like that's like with his music or with my visuals, there's always like what can we do to make it to hit like the feels, like to like, if I can say for like the cry video, like in general, like I really love like how the EDM community is, and a lot of where I edit from comes from like how do you, or what do you want the audience to feel? Like you want them to share that experience with you,
right?
And it always goes back to my first event. Like even though it wasn't like the biggest, it wasn't EDC or anything like that, like it still has the same community, and like when the music comes in, like you feel that like larger than life type of feel that comes over you. And that's always behind like every video. So speaking to that editing process, like everything just kind of goes back to that.
Yeah, it's like a reoccurring theme for you. I love that though, because that definitely is like what resonates with people, like especially picking like a topic like that and portraying it that way, like 100% right now. But no, I love that you have that theme throughout all of that. I think that's honestly amazing. And I'm also curious, before I, wrap up here with a couple questions, with everything going on right now, without events and things like that, like how have these past few months been for you, and what are you currently working on right now?
Well, it's been tough, like not gonna lie, just because you definitely get caught up in like dwelling on like, damn dude, they could have done so much this year. And honestly, I thought this year, like, take me out of the equation or what I'm doing, like this year would have been it would have been a banger, dude.
Yep.
Like that EDC lineup, which honestly that's where I found you, was like looking at festivals, like festival reviews and stuff like that. Seeing the lineup.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, this is like an all-star lineup. Dude, it would have been so good.
I know.
Even thinking about it now, I'm just
makes us emo.
I know, yeah.
I know it's tough, but it honestly is crazy, because it's interesting to see how festivals are approaching it. Cause like they know just as much as we all know, like it's just a guess when they think things are going to come back. But
I know,
like Electric Zoo just dropped their lineup this week. So a lot of them, all they can do right now is just try and get people hyped for next year, and obviously try to drive some ticket sales through lineup drops and things like that. But it's hard to like look at these lineups and get so pumped. And I'm like, EZoo is literally in a year from now.
I know, right? And it's like, it sucks now, because like the lineups will come out, and then I feel like for the festival community, like everything's just kept getting pushed back, like to the point where we're so numb to it now. It's like,
right,
they'll drop the lineup, but then they'll be like, is it really happening? Like, we'll see like the month before it is, and then I'll get stoked.
I could see that. I could see a lot of that's how I feel, like last minute ticket purchases, or like a lot of people just rolled over their tickets for next year, which I did that for like Electric Forest and Ubby Dubby. But everybody's trying to hang in, and we're all here because we're passionate about the EDM industry, and we want to see festivals survive, and like all these people, we want them to have their jobs back and things like that. So it's like we just have to make do with what we have in the meantime. And like whether it's drive-in raves or live streams and things like that, like how can you still keep the community spirit up and like what you guys did with that video definitely was one thing that I think hit home with a lot of people for sure.
Sure, yeah. Like it's like there's only so many like online festivals that you can go to, and like even now I see like people like trashing it, just like I don't want to see this online anymore. Like I want to go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it's cool that it, like even drive-in stuff is popping up too. So.
No,
Have you
they
been
seem
to
really
one?
fun. No,
No.
I haven't. There haven't been any in the New York, New Jersey area, but there are some Halloween events popping up around here that are like you have to get COVID tested before you go there. And I think they're doing rapid testing like upon arrival as well. So like, I don't know if there are tickets available, I might try to go just to like vlog the whole experience and see what it's like and hear live music again. Yeah. So I will report back on if I do that event.
Yeah.
What about you?
Honestly, that's a positive. I'm honestly expecting like that first event that you get to go to after COVID, this whole thing blows over. It should feel like I'm assuming it should feel like your first time.
100%. Yeah.
That's what got me too. Like like when you're standing in line and then like you can hear it in the background, super far away, but like I don't know, you can like feel it in your chest or something.
Yeah, it's the best.
That's really cheesy.
I call it potential energy.
Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. I like that.
My Rave fam coined that because we would always say we would get like butterflies and we would just get nervous and we'd be like, it's all of the potential energy building because it's not there yet, but you can just like feel it building in yourself and you like get the jitters. So I completely agree with you. It's going to be like on another level.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you too, like what you might have touched on it a little bit, but in your opinion, like what's the most rewarding part of doing what you do?
The people that get affected by it the most, like, because there's people that like they'll be having like rough patches in their life, or like there's comments that like that say like, oh, it just like brightened up my day, or it just really helped me through something. Just because like I know how that could be, like because listening to music, that's how like that's what I would feel too. Like it kind of gives you that escape as well. But yeah, and then honestly, when I'm at the festival and the shooting and like seeing people at the rail and stuff like that, like I feel like it's just like a shared energy, because I'm not just like walking around like stone faced, like just filming stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Because honestly, when I would go to events and stuff like that, there'd be people like just walking around and people filming, people like aside from security, like event organizers, whatever, walking around. They just look so miserable, like, or not miserable, but just blank.
Right.
It's like, oh, like I just want to go home. But I'm just like, this is like the coolest place ever. Like this is like the coolest. Yeah, this is the coolest vibe. Like, how can you not be having fun too? But yeah, that's like
I
that
love
shared.
that you said that.
Yeah. Honestly, I noticed.
So true.
Like, you notice shit like that. Like,
100%. It's people, they get phased. That's the problem. Like, that's why I'm so appreciative that you just said that. Cause it obviously depends. Like if you're much further in your career, or some people just get phased by all of it and then they lose that spark, or like they take things for granted and don't realize how lucky they are to be in that position. So I do think like people feed off your energy too. So I'm sure as you're shooting people, if you're in a good mood and you're like enjoying yourself as well, that makes for a better shot. But yeah, I mean, some of the people that work for these events, because like I have friends and family who work in music festival industry, and it's the same thing. Like they're just so jaded by like doing all the work behind the scenes that sometimes they just are like over it, or they don't even like go to watch some of the sets. They're like hanging backstage the entire time. I'm like, how are you not enjoying this?
Yeah, literally like look at the lights, just like, oh wow, okay. Just make sure everything looks good.
Yep. Yeah,
I get it, because like some of them like they'd be setting up the stage like for like the whole like week.
Yeah,
I can see that, but then also when it happens, like, come on, dude, have fun, dude.
No, it's so true. I mean, do you have any advice? I know you've sprinkled in a couple things, but I think that will all be very helpful to anybody who, again, like wants to do this. But any advice for somebody who wants to be a videographer in like for music festivals, for artists? Any advice you have about, the whole thing, working with artists, getting started?
Yeah. I would say the biggest thing is to have a plan. Like if I could do this again, like I would definitely think of a roadmap of where I would want to go. Because before I would, just like with anything, I feel like you start something and then just like start randomly poking at stuff, like seeing what works. but I feel like that can lead you into doing something that like you don't want to do for a long time. Like how some people straight up in anything in video, like photo, anything creative, you're going to have to end up doing some work for free or really cheap.
Right.
So you might as well just be doing that while going in a direction that you want to, you know? So yeah, like having a roadmap of what do you want to shoot, or like what can you bring to this person's brand that not like only you can pull it off. Because at the end of the day, you are a supplement to that person's image.
Right. Right.
So I feel like a lot of people, they get kind of caught up like becoming like the superstar videographer, like they want to be famous too or something, like
travel the world with the artist. Yeah.
yeah, and then just basically get like Instagram famous or something. I don't want to go too much into that, but
No, you're good.
yeah, like noticing that you are like helping this person, you're building this image of like I feel like just realizing like that job and just like sticking to a plan, and yeah, just having an idea like what you want to bring to that is really important. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad you touched on working for free as well too, because I know it's really tricky, especially because I'm a graphic designer by trade. So like same exact thing, done tons of jobs for free, and you kind of just have to build up your portfolio. But then eventually you get to the point where it just depends on the job. Like it's like this hard, how do I say this? It's like a hard decision between doing things for free and then getting taken advantage of, or like knowing your worth, especially as a freelancer. But when you're building up your portfolio, like I feel like so many of those opportunities that might be for free or like an internship or whatever, a favor for someone can turn into such good opportunities. So it's like you don't want to turn down something because it's free. Like I feel like you might learn the most from those circumstances. So I'm glad you touched on that.
Yeah, like honestly, speaking to doing stuff for free, because I would advise for doing stuff really cheap instead of free.
Yeah.
For free, they really have to be coming in with like something that is a guaranteed value in the end. Like if you were to shoot a festival, make sure you can like be the manager or something, or guarantee a job, or like yeah, just something solid like that. Like that's the only time I would think that doing stuff for free is justified. Yeah, like because honestly, it's I see how tough that is, because yeah, you don't have anything. Like the money is still like the you need that, you know. So
yeah, if it's your only job, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I forgot I was going with that, but
no, you're good. No, I think that makes a lot. I think that's extremely helpful. And I know like it depends, like not to get on a tangent. I've had friends too, where like the event has covered their ticket or maybe like their airfare and their travel expenses in exchange for like some sort of work and stuff like that. And same thing for like the vlogs, like some of the festivals have covered my cost of ticket, but they're not paying me to vlog. You know what I mean? Like that is just coming because I want to do it. And I'm like happy to have the ticket. But yeah, I think whatever you can do to like get your foot in the door. And like you said, you were DMing people, right? Like you were DMing managers. Yeah. Do that. Put yourself out there. That's how I get some of these interviews. It's like so intimidating, but you never know until you put it out there, especially now people are at home. So they have time to check their DMs.
And something like, I heard someone say this that like, I wish I knew a lot sooner, was that if they can't meet you at your price, you don't have to meet them at their deliverables. I think that's how it was. But yeah.
Gotcha.
So if they're paying you cheaply, like still do your best work, but like, because I've heard so many stories that like they'll do stuff for free or it's really cheap, but then all of a sudden it's like they're like their full-time worker.
Right.
We need this content by next morning, or like a few hours or something like that. You need to give us all of your raw footage and stuff like that. And then and it's like that's how you're getting screwed, when you're just like, you know this is like high value, but like you just gave it away for not much else, you know.
No, I think we've all had like those life lessons or like scenarios like that, and you just learn for the next time, hopefully. But okay, I'm want to be conscious of your time today. I know I do have some bonus questions I want to ask you, but before I get into that, I wanted to ask, outside of your work, outside of everything you're doing, like what are you the most passionate about? Have you started any new hobbies these past few months that you've gotten into?
Not much, honestly. Besides like video, I would say like I don't know, like skating, like skateboarding, like that's something I usually like to do.
Nice.
Because I got into a Blender, been making like 3D like playable levels and stuff like that, or playable maps and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm super stoked about that.
That's awesome. That's what my next question was. What are you most excited about right now?
Oh yeah, like been doing more lyric videos and stuff like that. There's a lot of work that we're doing with Wave music. But yeah, honestly, there's not much I can speak on for the end of the rest of the year. But yeah, I don't have anything really to plug in. So
No, you're totally. Thank you so much for doing this today. It was honestly awesome chatting with you.
No worries. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Of course, plug where can everybody connect with you and see your latest work?
So everything, Instagram, NC Suds, Twitter, NC Suds with like a underscore. That's basically it.
Check out Cry, Gryffin's new video. And yeah, everybody else, hang tight. I'll be back with EDM news in just a second. Alrighty fam, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Neil. And again, give him a follow at NC Suds on Instagram. And feel free to check out Gryffin's latest festival. Guys, it's been a long day. Check out Gryffin's latest music video for the song Cry, and maybe see if you can find my vlog content in there if you guys see me pop up. Alrighty, I want to get into our EDM news. I have a short segment today, and then I have my song of the week recommendations. How's that sound, everybody? Sounds great, Emma. Woo, awesome, okay. I've been in a room alone for a really long time today, so I hope you guys appreciate that. Okay, I want to get into some festival announcements. Of course, Insomniac giving us endless amounts of content to talk about because, we have to keep it up with the festivals coming to us in 2021. So first up, I want to talk about Hard Summer. So we got an announcement that it is coming back in 2021 at the NOS Center, the NOS Center. I do that every time. At the NOS Center. July 31st and August 1st. Pre-sale was just extended, I believe. So definitely check out their passes. They have all kinds of payment plans and all that fun stuff. And then EDC Mexico was also announced. This is the one that it's like, okay, this is probably going to be the trend moving forward. So like pay attention, fam. But they are actually bumping back the festival. So right now it's on for April 16th, 17th, and 18th, 2021. For those of you who don't know, usually EDC Mexico takes place in February, so we're already kind of seeing some festivals probably anticipating that they may not be able to have be at like full scale early next year. Who knows what's going to happen, but so that's going to be coming out. I've heard nothing but amazing things about EDC Mexico, so really excited about that. I believe it was last week I told you guys about a Halloween festival that was being put on by Elements, and it's in New Jersey at the Meadowlands. Well, we finally got the lineup for it, and when I tell you I wanted to throw up, it was so good. Like I'm completely shook to my core. So on Friday, right now, it just says, I'm gonna butcher this artist's name, and I apologize, but I think it's just like Bedouin. Is that how you say it? Bedouin? I don't really know. But that artist plus more to be announced on Friday. And then there are two different time slots. So there's a Saturday day rave and then there's a Saturday night rave, which is really cool. The day rave is 12 noon to 7 p.m. and it's Boombox Cartel, Tainan, and Memba. So really cool vibes there. And then the night rave is what got me. It's Walker and Royce, Wax Motif, and Vanessa and Golden Pony. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, some of my favorite house artists of all time. I mean, I'm a Wax Motif stan. Walker and Royce is absolutely amazing live, and so is Vanessa. Like, that is house music heaven. So, you might be wondering, Emma, why are you not gonna go to that event? I was this close, so close to buying tickets to that because it's, not far. It's in New Jersey, and honestly, I'm trying to figure out what the F I'm gonna do for Halloween that is like safe and socially distanced, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like everybody's trying to figure out what the heck they're gonna do, if they can even do anything. And the tickets actually were a little bit pricey. I know tier 1 was like $129, and I believe it already bumped up to tier 2, and that was max capacity 500 people. So at this point, it might even be sold out, but if you guys don't have any plans, I would highly suggest that, because I think that's gonna be amazing. It is not a drive-in rave, it is an open air capacity festival with COVID pre-testing the week of the event, and then upon entry as well, there's a rapid test. So all of that is going on. In other news, I have a follow-up to a story I did this summer. So if some of you remember, the Chainsmokers did a drive-in event in the Hamptons that kind of like made headline news everywhere, because all of these videos came out and they like clearly were not social distance. It looked so packed, and it was mainly the people up in like the VIP in the very front area. So it says Cuomo is fining the promoters behind the Chainsmokers Southampton concert $20,000 for COVID-19 violations. So it sounds like those are the people that are being held accountable for what happened there, but I think we knew that was gonna happen. Cuomo also barred the town of Southampton from approving permits for group gatherings without state approval. So all of that's going on. And then lastly, I wanted to announce this because I think this is amazing as well. Live Nation announced that they are launching this program called Black Tour Directory, which highlights live music's diversity, according to this dancingastronaut.com article. So basically, it's a place where Black workers, Black-owned companies can register to be on this directory, which is really cool. So other people looking for working professionals and people in the music industry can go to this directory, and it's a really easy way to find Black employees and connect with people and network. So I think that's really cool. It's a step in the right direction for them trying to diversify their jobs and their marketplace and things like that. So really, really cool. I'm glad to see these things happening. It should have happened a long time ago, but it's a step in the right direction, and I know Live Nation has a lot of things going on in the world, but really, really cool. Check that article out on dancingastronaut.com. All right, my friends, we are here at the end of the episode. Really quickly, I'm gonna tell you about my songs of the week. I have to shout out the collab between Grizz and Jaws, which was really, really exciting, very anticipated. I just feel like, the song is called No Doubt, sorry. It's called No Doubt. It's wonky, it's trippy, it's super weird. It's an awesome collaboration between the two artists, and I feel like it really kind of showcases what both of them can do and like the range of them, because it's not a typical Jaws song. You can definitely tell his inflections in it, and you can kind of see the Grizz vibes in it as well, but really fun collab from Grizz and Jaws called No Doubt. Last week I also talked about how obsessed I am with John Summit's song Deep End. It was like #1 on Beatport all summer. Well, the duo Side Piece did a remix that they came out with this week. So check it out, Side Piece's remix of Deep End by John Summit. Side Piece is Party Favor and Nitty Gritty, for those of you who don't know. Such a fun duo. Hope to see them live at some point. And lastly, I wanted to shout out this song my friend BB Howell introduced me to. It's by, I think, Loge21, L-O-G-E, the number 21, and it's their song New Life. Really fun track. I stopped by a shuffle meetup this past Friday that was in Hoboken, New Jersey, and BB was one of the people who helped organize it. And first off, the turnout was absolutely amazing, and that was the first time I felt like I had been at like an EDM event or like around those kinds of vibes in a very long time. So that was really, really exciting. And this song came on and BB was like, oh my God, I love this, this is my jam. And I was like, you gotta send me this on Spotify. So Logue21, the song New Life, definitely check that out. All right, you guys, we are at the end of the episode. Thank you all so much for listening today. Again, huge shout out to Neil for joining me, NC Studs, if you wanna follow him on Instagram. And you guys know the drill to do all the things. If you enjoyed this, it would mean so much to me if you would screenshot this and make it your Instagram stories today. If you really enjoyed it, you can leave us a review on iTunes or just throw a couple stars. You know, you don't even have to write a review. Throw a couple stars, you know, it takes 10 seconds. Also, feel free to connect with us on all of our social media handles at raveculturecast and at Emma Kapotes. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/Emma Kapotes, and raveculturecast clips if you want to watch weekly highlights and the bonus interview I always have every week with my guests. Feel free to email me your Listener of the Week nominations and your submissions for what does plur mean to you. And with all of that being said, I'm wishing you guys a very happy Wednesday. Do something you love today. Listen to some great music, and I will see you all next Wednesday. Bye, guys.